Amazing. First, thank everybody for joining. Yeah, good to see you all here. Looking forward to sort of taking you through this experience here and what you can sort of be taking on next year. I'm Simon. I'm the operations manager for Dig Deep. So yeah, obviously looking forward to sort of taking you through this. Been with the Dig Deep now for the last 5 years. Basically, my role in the charity is to help to organise these events with our local partners, and obviously just make sure you have the best time while you do so as well. So throughout the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to take you through what the charity is and obviously what your funders are going to go towards, so you know a little bit more about that. A little bit about obviously the Tough Mudder Challenge itself and what you can expect from it and how you can get involved. And then also about fundraising support, so obviously what we're going to do to support you through the process, make sure you can hit those targets, and then go on the trip itself. So like I said, any questions that you've got, pop them in the chat, and I can go through those towards the end of the session. So to start off with, going to take you through who we are as a charity to start off with. So Dig Deep was formed in 2007 by student volunteers. And then last year, we were super proud to be awarded the Charity of the Year status from the National Student Fundraising Association. And we're also shortlisted for this award this year as well. So super proud of that. And it's basically recognition of our continued efforts for supporting you guys as the next generation of student fundraisers. So Dig Deep itself, we are a water and sanitation charity. And working in Kenya. And it's our belief, and I'm sure you sort of appreciate that as well, understand, that every resident should have the fundamental right to access clean water and safe toilets and good hygiene, including the young kids, smiley kids you can see here from a place called Chepkege Primary School, which is one of the schools we work at. So we are focused in our work in one region of Kenya called Bomet County. And this is in the southwest of Kenya, which you can see here on the map. It's a beautiful rural county, home to approximately 1 million people. But across this county, around sort of 80% of people don't have any access to clean water, safe toilets, or good hygiene. So we're taking on this Tough Mudder Challenge in support of us. Your fundraising will enable our local team, which you can see Justice here as our country manager, to work in strong partnerships with local communities, local governments, to vastly accelerate access to water, sanitation, and good hygiene for every resident across Bomet County. And we do this in a variety of different ways. So first, by designing and building large-scale water systems to provide clean water to thousands of people every day. 2, training households how to construct their own latrines to end open defecation and reduce spread of disease. To developing new rainwater harvesting technologies and school toilets that can withstand the challenges of climate change. And also developing school curriculums and community outreach programs to bring vital hygiene messages and practices to the next generation. Simple things like you can see here, like the art of washing your hands and using soap, which obviously we all take for granted here in the UK. But unfortunately, that sort of knowledge is not known over there. The reality is you'll be given the gift of time. So the less the children like Carl and Mary can see pictures here fall ill, the more time they can be spent at school learning and building themselves a brighter future. And equally, the less time that people like Joyce, you can see pictured here, fall ill or spend long time sort of walking distances to collect water, the more time they can be spent at work, earning for their families and basically bringing themselves out of poverty. Now, I also want to sort of cover, I'll tell you a little bit about one particular aspect of our work, which has sort of achieved historical success and progress over the last couple of years. So going back to the start of 2020, there were 0 villages across Bomet County who had been declared open defecation free. Now, this basically means that every household has a toilet and a hand washing station at their house. Our team started a behaviour change programme called Community-Led Total Sanitation, which effectively provides training to communities and sort of local leaders on the importance of having a toilet and hand washing station, how it can reduce the spread of disease and ultimately illness. And we also provide training on how they construct their own latrines at their houses. So we started this program, and then by the end of 2021, so just over a year later, all 100 villages in Ndanabozi ward, which is one sub-region of Bomet County, have been declared open defecation free. Now, this means that now 50,000 people are now able to better protect themselves from diseases. And we've now started to roll this out into neighbouring wards as well. And just this week, actually, we've just received the news that 66 further villages have now been declared open defecation free, bringing that number of 166 villages up from a 0, which was at the start of 2020. Because in 2 years, it's now shot up to 166 villages, all declared open defecation free. Now, this historic achievement has led to a co-funding partnership with the local county government of Bonnet, where we're now going to dramatically scale up this work to reach the remainder of Bonnet County. So we're super excited and sort of passionate about this. We're seeing the success straight away. And now we can't wait to obviously scale this up dramatically across the rest of the county in the coming years. And ultimately, it's because of supporters like you taking on these events, raising the funds that enable our Kenya team to do this. And we're super passionate for you to sort of be a part of this process over the next couple of years. So that's a very sort of brief overview of what we do at Dig Deep. But this just puts into perspective the impact that you can have. So just £50 provides 1,000 litres of clean water storage stored in Kenya. And so obviously with your fundraising target for this event, you can just imagine the impact that you can have by taking on this challenge. As I said, that's a very quick overview of what we do at Dig Deep. And so I'd urge you to head to our website, read a little bit more if you want to, or obviously pop your questions in the chat and cover those towards the end as well. But I'm sure you're all here to find out about Tough Mudder and how you can get involved. So to start off, I'm just going to play a very short video, just to sort of give you sort of an overview of what you're going to experience, see some of the obstacles, and obviously hear from some people who've actually taken it on as well. Gives you a chance to have a little break from hearing from me as well. So I'm going to play that now for you.
Tough Mudder's got a really big reputation, so it's definitely got good bragging rights to say that we've completed Tough Mudder together.
Tough Mudder and a lot of their obstacles are much more about team-based and helping each other out, and that's what we want to build within our club, essentially. You have to work as a team. You can't do it on your own. It's not like if you go for a marathon, everybody can compete on their own and finish on their own. I think you've got to start and you've got to finish together as a team.
They do definitely come closer together, and we talk about it all year because we're doing it again next year, so it's brilliant.
Definitely brought us closer together. Yeah, together.
So yeah, hopefully that's whet your appetite a little bit, give you a sense of what it's all about. Obviously, effectively, it's all about challenging yourself and working as a team throughout the process. You've obviously seen some examples on the obstacles there and things you're going to have to sort of help each other out about. But it's all about having that team there around you. And I just want to sort of cover some of the obstacles in a little bit more detail so you can see exactly what you may be sort of having to conquer on this challenge so you can prepare yourself for them. So to start off with, the very first one will be the hero wall. So it's effectively a 10-foot vertical sort of sheer face wall. You have to clamber over. Obviously, if you're slightly taller and quite strong, you can jump up and grab it and then help yourself over. But you may need a bit of a helping hand from those around you to sort of help you get over that wall. You then go straight on to the kiss of mud. So you won't stay clean for very long, I'm afraid. So this is effectively a bit of an army crawl through some thick mud underneath a sort of 18-inch gap of barbed wire. So definitely sort of low and slow, making sure you're not getting caught on that throughout that thick mud. Another wall called skid marked. So this is still a 10-foot vertical wall, but it's on the angle and it's angling the wrong way for you to actually help you out a little bit. So you're definitely going to need a bit of sort of help from those around you to help you get up there. No way to sort of use your legs to sort of leverage yourself up there, unfortunately. But yeah, you can repay for the favor, obviously, those who are following you as well. So it's all about helping those around you. You then got the funky monkey. So obviously, growing up, you may have all done the monkey bars. There's a few different iterations of this, a bit like the sort of ninja warrior course, which you may have seen as well. So really sort of definitely upper body punisher. And if you do fall off, there's going to be a big lake for you to fall into underneath as well. You then got the cage crawl. So this is definitely one that's going to test your sort of mental toughness. You're going to be crawling yourself through sort of a muddy lake with about a few inches above the top of the water line where there's a wire fence. So you can obviously breathe through that. Definitely one that you're going to need to stay calm. So again, supporting each other through that and just making sure you're keeping calm, looking up and moving through. Another one which you definitely need a partner for, whether that's someone that you signed up with, or if you as an individual, you basically just grab someone that's around you. So stranger or friend, you'll all be friends by the end of it. This is basically a very sort of steep angled platform. You'll need to sort of counterbalance each other's weight as you shimmy yourself across the platform. Now you get the chance to sort of wash that mud off through some of the water challenges. So one called hydrophobia. We basically have to submerge yourself underneath the water and then sort of shimmy yourself underneath a series of pipes to get across the challenge. And if that wasn't enough, you've then got an ice bath or two. So real sort of deep and freezing cold ice bath, which you have to drop in a couple of times. So definitely a chance, once you get out of this obstacle, get your running shoes on, run to the next obstacle, warm yourself up a little bit. And one of those will be the Mudderhorn. So this is effectively a very large tower, roughly the size of about a 3-story building. So you climber up to the top. If you're not scared of heights, you can obviously look across the incredible views that you may have before clambering down the other side. And then last but not least, one of the sort of renowned obstacles from Tough Mudder, I'm sure you may have heard about it already, is the electroshock therapy. So this will be towards the end of it and running through sort of some dangling wires of giving you some electric shocks along the way. Speed definitely of the essence of this, or obviously just locking arms and taking it as a team to finish it off is probably the way to go to get through that. So yeah, some examples of some of the sort of obstacles you may have to sort of encounter along the way. Obviously, you're going to get muddy, you're going to be quite exhausted by the end of it, wet, and maybe even have a few electric shocks on the way as well. But trust me, whenever you're on there, you'll be sort of running to the next obstacle, desperate to sort of get going. And many people go back year on year to sort of take this on each year. So it could be the start of your sort of Tough Mudder adventure. So for you guys at Surrey, the West London event on the 6th to the 7th of May has been selected as your chosen event. There are 3 different options of event. So you have the 15 kilometers, which is the longest one, which will be tackling around sort of 30 obstacles. You've then got the 10-kilometer distance, either tackling 20 obstacles, or the shortest one of 5 kilometers, tackling 13 obstacles. So obviously then you've got the choice over which one is going to be suitable for you. And obviously you don't have to all do the same one. You can choose the one that's right for you. And that'll be either the 6th or the 7th of May. The West London one is known for one of the most hilly courses. So you will have sort of some hill runs in between each obstacles, just to make it a little bit harder as well. So yeah, consider that when you're sort of looking at which distance to take on. In terms of signing up, so there's a hugely discounted registration fee by taking on with this. So you can see between £10 and £20, depending on which distance you take on. And then you've got your fundraising target, which will both cover the remainder of your entry fee, as well as the donation to Dig Deep. And that obviously, like I said before, will be covering everything going towards our work out in Kenya. So this will need to be raised at least 4 weeks before the event, which is when we will confirm your place with Tough Mudder and provide you with your entry link for you to register officially with the Tough Mudder site. Hope that's all clear. So that's how you get involved. And I will be sending at the end of this session the link to the page where you can officially register and get your fundraising page set up so you can get cracking immediately. But fundraising, I'm just going to cover briefly what you can expect from this and obviously how we're going to support you through the process as well. So anyone who hasn't fundraised before, it's completely natural to be a little bit apprehensive about this and how you go about doing that. But I want to stress that you are not left to figure it out by yourself. It can and should be a lot of fun, and we are here to sort of help you throughout the process to make sure that it is so. As I said before, we have been awarded the Charity of the Year and been shortlisted this year as well, so the last 2 years, which is basically, we pride ourselves on the comprehensive support that we give and committed to maintaining this high standard for you. So you're definitely not going to be left alone to do it. Ultimately, the more you raise and the better you do in your fundraising, the more that's raised for the charity. So obviously we're all on the same page and everyone's a winner when we're all pulling in the same direction. So we have many fundraisers every year, and we took some feedback from people who took challenges with us this summer. And this is some of the examples of, like I said, people you do not need to be experienced in fundraising before. So 85% of people who take on challenges with us, if you've never done it before, they've only done it once or twice before. So you're not going to be alone in the fact that you may not have done this before and a little bit apprehensive about it. Equally, we have a lot of resources and a lot of time into ensuring that you have the support and the guidance that you need to sort of really succeed in your fundraising. And this is what I was rated back from our fundraisers as well, who sort of obviously do agree with that as well. So some examples of what you'll have. So as soon as you register, you will be invited to book in for a one-to-one call. This will be with my colleague Megan, who will basically take you through what your hobbies are, what your networks are, and come together with a bit of an idea about how you can reach your target. whether that is approaching companies, whether it's asking donations from friends and family, and how to actually get the word out about that across social media, for example, or it's putting on an event. And obviously you'll have the support as well from your RAG at Surrey. Aside from that, we also have a monthly newsletter, which is packed full of fundraising ideas for the upcoming months. So you do not have to kind of like figure things out yourself. You will always have some ideas right on the tip of your tongue, which you can sort of get cracking with. And our calendar is always open. So if anything you want to sort of ask some support or ask any questions that you might have about how to actually get started with something, all you need to do is book in a call with myself or Megan, and we can support you through that process. We've also got a whole host of resource and campaigns that you can take advantage of. So we've got a dedicated website with loads of how-to guides and how to get involved in certain sort of fundraising activities, which are always access to on our website. We've then got lots of other sort of campaigns like our Commerce of Kenya event, which is a virtual map-based challenge which you can take on, and also get some training in as well. And we also have campaigns like the Big Give, which is happening right now. It was launched today, which is a match funding campaign which you can get involved in as well, to encourage people to sort of make donations, and their donation then has twice the impact to the charity. We also have regular webinar series and blog posts, which sort of sharing ideas from other fundraisers about how events that they've done have gone, which you can then replicate in your own fundraising. And that's the thing, you are not in this alone. So we have fundraisers all across the country taking on various different events. And we always feel that sharing those ideas, sharing their successes and sort of peer-to-peer support is definitely the way forward, where you can sort of replicate ideas and understand what is working. And you've got a whole host of people that you can draw that from. There's not just myself or my team at Dig Deep, but there's also the wider Dig Deep community. So fellow fundraisers, past fundraisers in our alumni network. And like I say, we'll be sharing these on regular sort of blog series and Confession of a Fundraiser YouTube channels as well. So you can access all of our resources. There will obviously be times where fundraising may be a little bit challenging. We're not really sure what to do, but just remember that every pound that you raise is making a huge difference over in Kenya. So just £27 provides a hand washing station at a school in Kenya. So if you do an event and you only raise, say, £50, straight away, you can see that that is still going to make a huge difference. So never get disheartened, and always remember why you signed up to the challenge. We know you can smash your targets, but obviously there may be times where you feel like, yeah, you're struggling a little bit. That brings me to the end. I just want to put this quote on from Kate, who's one of our fundraisers this year, just to sort of reiterate that you're not in it alone. You really can get the bug as well by taking on these challenge events and looking for your next one afterwards. And obviously we'd love for you to sort of get involved and join us on this trip and maybe on to sort of future endeavours as well. But like I said, I'm going to take you through now a bit of a Q&A. So any questions that you've got, just pop them over to me now. I'll check the chat box now to see if there are any. And I'll also post the link into the chat as well, so you can get signed up if you are keen. So any questions, pop them over to me now. We've had a message from the RAG chair. So they're also looking for a challenge leader. So if you're interested in getting involved and maybe getting other people involved as well with you and sort of leading them on team socials and team fundraising events, then by all means do pop us a message. We'd love to have you on board and we can sort of get you started in that role as well. There will be potential discounts as well on fundraising targets based on the people that you recruit. So just drop me a message if you're interested in sort of taking on that role as well. Any questions? I've had nothing else through yet, but yeah, I'm going to hang around for a little bit. So anything that is unclear or you have any questions, just pop them over. So when will the date be decided? From Catherine. So the date is either the 6th or 7th of May. It's basically dependent on which distance that you take on. So some of them are only some of the distances are only on the Saturday, some of them on the Sunday. So basically, depending on which distance you sign up to, it'll either be on the 6th or the 7th. And that information is on the registration process itself. So you'll see which date is on which distance and when you actually sign up itself. Hopefully that answered your question. But yeah, 6th and 7th of May is when the event will be taking place. Excellent, thank you. Any other questions from anybody? or anything that you'd like me to go back to in the presentation that potentially wasn't answered or went over a bit too quickly, I'm happy to go back to as well. No. Well, if not, we're obviously going to be here. You've got the my email address is on the message I've put in, so support@digdeep.org.uk. You can also head to the Surrey RAG Instagram page, where you can ask any questions straight to Surrey RAG as well. But thank you for joining. Look forward to sort of working on the trip very soon. But any questions, ping them over to me. I'm happy to sort of answer those for you. But yeah, thanks for joining, and I'll let you get back to your day, and hopefully watching the football later as well. So yeah, thanks for joining.